Hi friends, hope you are fine and safe at your own comfort zone. Well, last couple of days I have come across with a lot of videos regarding the OET exam, and United States has approved that as one of the accepted English proficiency language test for the international nurses to fulfill their dream to work as a registered nurse in some of their nursing regulatory boards, especially in Florida and Oregon. So when some of my friends, they saw these videos and they called me and they asked personally regarding about these exams and how to take an NCLEX-RN exam. So what could be the better opportunities to fulfill their dream. So I thought it is a right time to share some of my ideas regarding the English language proficiency exam and NCLEX-RN to become a registered nurse in United States. Well, when we are thinking about to become a registered nurse in United States, we have to undergo certain steps, which includes basically three things. The first one, that the English proficiency test, that already before they have accepted IELTS, TOEFL, and now some of the nursing regulatory boards, they are ready to accept OET also as a proficiency exam for English language for the international nurses. So this is actually a good decision that they are going to fix, and I hope that by the end of 2020 they will help many of our nurses to choose this one as an English proficiency exam. So when you are selecting or when you are making a decision to become an RN in United States, I think you should know more about some of the other facts which are related to this nation registration. So one thing we already discussed, that is the OET or the IELTS exam or TOEFL. And another two things, or another major one thing, is that the NCLEX-RN exam. So NCLEX-RN exam is that National Council Registration Examination for a registered nurse. So this exam is mandatory for every single nurse to work as a licensed nurse in United States. And some of you know that the requirements to do the Dataflow for this exam is a little bit difficult, or requirements are little bit changed in many of the states. So for example, now you are going to take a decision to become an RN in United States. I would really suggest to listen what we are going to discuss now. So already you know that you have to take OET or IELTS. That is one part. And another part is NCLEX-RN exam. So this NCLEX-RN exam, under that one we have to we can divide as three branches or three levels. So in that, the first one is CGFNS, and the second one is the board where you are going to appear the exam, and the third one is the Pearson Vue. So CGFNS means they are the one who should send a report to the Board of Nursing where you are going to appear the exam, and once the Board of Nursing has completed or they receive all the requirements from candidate side, they will send that, they will assign the Pearson Vue to take the exam for that particular candidate. So we'll see how it works. The first one, CGFNS. So CGFNS, they need certain requirements. In that, the first one, you have to register, you have to make an account by purchasing their service. Service means, so now as an international nurse, we wanted to write the exam and we wanted to register under their board. So for that we will say Credential Evaluation Service for Professionals. We have some other things are there like Credential Evaluation Service for the academic purpose, academic report. But now we should consider about the Credential Evaluation Service for professionals. So for getting that service, first we have to purchase in the website. That means if you want to know more about, you can search in www.cgfns.org. So you will see what all the things and how to log in and how about the fees. Usually for the international nurses, when we will purchase, when we will start an account in CGFNS, we have to pay around $350 or $365. And it might be different for the nurses, those who already studied in United States. And also if somebody who is looking for some other evaluation of their services, and they have many other things. So now we are thinking about how to start, how to purchase. So once you do the payment, and you will give all the necessary data like your personal details, your education purpose, everything you are giving. Once they will receive the application, they will give or they will update our profile with all the requirements that we have to complete within a time frame. Usually that time frame it's like 1 year, and sometimes we can just increase to many years. So what are the requirements under that one? The first one is that we already said that we have given a application form and we done that payment. Next one is the primary education. That means your SSLC and your higher secondary education certificates and your graduation certificate that you should get from your college along with your transcript. So when you will open this account, you will know that there is a form, and you have to fill this form, and you should send to the nursing college, and the nursing college, they have to fill certain forms. And after all these things, from that local address of that particular nursing college, they have to return, they have to send that documents to CGFNS. And another one, you have to get a verification from the Board of Nursing where you have done your graduation. So that one also, the Nursing Council directly they should send from that local address to a CGFNS. So they will, and once they receive all these documents, all these requirements, they will verify our documents. Usually for this verification, it may take up to 10 weeks. Usually we say 6 to 10 weeks. Sometimes it will finish before 6 weeks also, like within 10 days or 15 days also it will finish. It's like the maximum period we should say like 8 weeks or 10 weeks. It's sometimes it depends. So once they finish, they verify and everything is clear, even the transcript is clear, and your college has registered in the particular nursing council, and your college certificates, you are studied with a like your institute or where you done your graduation, you have all the accreditations and everything they verify. They make a report which includes all these documents what we have submitted to them. So once they finish that report, they will send to the next branch what we mentioned before, that is the Board of Nursing. So for instance, here we'll take Texas Board of Nursing. So once the Texas Board of Nursing, they receive the series report, they will verify with the other documents what we supposed to send them. So for an easy way, I would like to suggest an option that even the Texas Board of Nursing, they also require the same verification from the Board of the Nursing Council where we have studied our our bachelor degree of nursing, and they may, sometimes they also will ask us to send our transcript from this college. So these documents, so when you are going to get the verification from the nursing council, it would be better for you to fill the two forms, for one for the Board of Nursing and one for the CGFNS together, and do the necessary payments. There also we have some payments and some paper filling and everything. So once they finish that paper filling everything, usually the nursing council, they are the one directly, they will send it to the CGFNS, and if you are doing for Board of Nursing, they will send to the Board of Nursing also. So that one you can do together, so you can really save your time as well as your traveling time, money, everything. So once, now we already finished all the things the CGFNS they require, and the CGFNS they send the report to the Texas Board of by the time simultaneously we have done what all the other requirements which is extra that that Board of Nursing they need. The Texas Board of Nursing, usually they will what I mentioned, like they need also this verification, and another one is that nurses jurisprudence exam, that is also one of the requirement. You can see that when you are registering with the Texas Board of Nursing, they also will create a profile for us, same like a CGFNS. When you will create that profile, that is also there is payment. So when you will do that profile, you can see what all the things they receive. Did they receive a CS report from the CGFNS? Did they receive the what verification what we sent from the nursing council? And did they receive the certificates that we have sent it from our college? We can see once they receive, they will just change the color of that requirement. Before it might be red, and they will change to blue, and you will see when they receive and did they accept or not. There should be in the remark column, you can see that the documents what they receive, it's okay for them, that they verify or they accept or not. You can daily you can go through that one. So once they finish, once they receive this CS report, or once they receive these verifications, the next step, what is the another requirement in Board of Nursing or Texas Board of Nursing, is the nurses jurisprudence exam. So jurisprudence words, it means the laws, the rules or regulations which we have to follow in that particular Board of Nursing or in that particular states. So for that you have to prepare yourself. You will get the materials for study from the website, NCBCN website, and from that you can download and you can prepare by yourself. So once you prepare that one, it's around 50 questions that questions you have to take. You can take that exam in the computer itself, in your own house or wherever it is. No need to go to any center or anywhere. Sorry. Once you've done this test, they will show you whether you pass. There is a minimum passing rate, so whether you pass. So usually we have 3 attempts, so you can if you didn't get the first attempt, you can do again. So once you pass, once you clear that one, once you pass that exam, they will update, okay, your nursing jurisprudence exam has completed. So the another step, that the fingerprint evaluation. So might be many of the nurses, we know that fingerprint evaluation is very necessary when you are moving to other countries. So fingerprint evaluation, that one you can take from your own country. Like they will give a form. In that form we have to fill and we have to approach one of the there are some centers which is related to our government, who will provide, who is authenticated to give this fingerprint evaluation for us. So once you complete this fingerprint evaluation, that one also you should send it to the Board of Nursing. Once they receive, they will check is that everything fine, they will accept that one also. And the next step under the Board of Nursing, now we are talking about, just I am giving an example, that is Texas Board of Nursing. Next step is that ATT, which means Authorize to take test. So this is the time now we are going to connect to Pearson Vue, the branch which we mentioned before, the third branch. So this ATT, once, so before taking an ATT, you should ask yourself whether are you ready to write, are you ready to appear for the exam. Because if you are not ready, if you didn't prepare well, you didn't get enough training, it is not the right time to take the ATT. After you are confirmed, you are thoroughly completed with all the things, you can take an ATT. So for the ATT also there is a payment. So once you do the payment, they will give the ATT. This ATT means it's like a duration, a particular duration, like a time frame. Usually it's around 72 to 90 days. So within that particular period, we have to appear for the exam. That's why I mentioned before, we should ask ourselves whether we are ready or not. In terms of study part and in terms whether we can reach the center. Why I should reach the center means some foreign or the international nurses, they might be taking the exam in the United States and they might be in their own country. So you already take the ATT, and if any chance you didn't reach the United States within the particular that time period, you didn't take the exam. But there are options. We can postpone, prepone. There are options. So once we'll get the ATT, like usually we'll get the ATT like within 1 week or 7 to 15 days. But nowadays, as you all know, because of the COVID pandemic, it's getting delay, and I think many of the international centers are not at all open for the exams, especially in India at all. So once you get the ATT, you are going to take the exam. There we registered with the Pearson Vue. Pearson Vue is the one who is conducting the NCLEX-RN exam for the Board of Nursing and for the CGFNS, based on the curriculum that we are getting from the NCBCA, NCSVN and CDC and all. So once you got the date, you are now in the period of very intensive preparation, and you are going to appear for the exam. So now we'll talk about how this exam works. So this NCLEX-RN exam, it's entirely different from some of the other comprehensive exam we might have prepared, we had done for some of the Gulf countries or for CBT, HAD, something like that. Because those exams are computer based. This is computer adaptive testing. Computer based and computer adaptive means actually the mode of exam you are doing in computer only, but the systematical approach behind the exam is entirely different. That's what I mentioned. A computer based test, when we are appearing for a CBT exam, or when you are appearing for a Saudi Promatic exam, or when you are going to write in a HAD, once you log in front of the computer on the day of exam, the questions, there is a particular questions, this much questions could be for HAD, 120 questions for CBT, or this much questions for Saudi Promatic. So that much once you log in or once you start, that much questions already there in your particular poll. It's not going to change based on the response or based on the answers you are doing for the first questions. Like for example, for the first 10 questions you answer, and even though it's right or wrong, for the rest of the 110 questions or 100 questions, it's not going to change. It's fixed for you. It's already fixed from the starting itself. But for NCLEX-RN, it's a CAT, computer adaptive testing, which means like it's an interactive response session or like an interview. For instance, the first 5 questions, usually the first 5 questions are easy, and might be the one who didn't prepare well, they might be feel difficult, or when they answered it might be wrong. The computer or we are considering the person who is sitting opposite or who is analyzing is came to understand that we are not much thorough and our graph is below average, and the questions they will give a little easy and they will change the topic, they will give little difficult, and these questions are really changing based on the response what we are giving to each questions, which means the questions are not fixed once you start your exam, and the number of questions also not fixed, which means that the questions what you are getting, it will change based on the response what we are giving. If we are giving all the wrong answers, like we will get some easy questions and some difficult questions, and finally our graph will be below average, and the chances of getting passed, it might be difficult. but you are getting more SATA questions, which means like select all that apply questions, and you are getting much priority based questions, and you are giving a proper answer, and the answers are exactly correct. Your graph is really gradually growing upward. And when they reach a number of 75 questions, they will evaluate, okay, her overall performance, candidate performance is good, she is above average, she have the knowledge regarding particular aspects what they need, and it's fine, we pass. And sometimes if it's not, the graph will goes ups and down and just fluctuating, and finally we are not going, the overall performance is not good, there's chance to fail also. So previously, I mean before the pandemic, the usual timing for the questions was 6 hours for 265 questions. That is, 265 is the maximum number of questions that we may have to receive during the exam. But some of the students, or when they reach 75 questions, our analysis was good and the performance was good, maybe other questions will finish and our exam is finished. The maximum is 265, 6 hours, and minimum is 75. That was before COVID pandemic. But now, after this corona issues, and the centers couldn't give the time or couldn't make the chance to appear for the exam for many students, because it's a long duration, so they decreased the timing to 4 hours, and the maximum number of questions now it's 130. In that time, the minimum questions also it's decreased, it's 60. So the timing is decreased to 6 to 4, and so to 65 maximum questions decreased to 130. This is one recent change, and this is not, I don't think this is permanent. This is a temporary change that they have made for including more students to appear for the exam in the available centers. Some of the international centers are not open. So in the United States only centers are open, and they decrease the same, so they can include more candidates for appearing the exam. So this is what happened. And this might be changed, or this may come to same like before, that we cannot say something, a clear idea about that. So this is about how the exam works, and the topics or the syllabus, that is also it's different. It's not different means it's not some nursing or not like that. It's nursing, and there is all the systems including the fundamentals, ethics, and infection control, diseases, and maternity, pediatric, mental health, everything is there. But they divide it as a 4 main groups or class. That is, first one is the safe and effective nursing, then another one is the health promotion, then physiological integrity, psychological integrity, like this they divide it. And there is percentage, this under the safety this much percentage of questions will come, under this physiological integrity this much percentage of questions will go. That is really if I talk about this one, the video will be it will be more time, and when you will listen all this at a time, you might be feel overwhelmed. I don't want to make you much irritable on that matter. So what I mentioned that this is an overall idea or the facts about NCLEX-RN and the English proficiency test, and how to fulfill your dream to work as an RN in the United States. Hope you get some idea, and these ideas would definitely beneficial for you. Thank you. So if you feel this is something good and this idea is really helpful, just share and support to reach maximum people who are looking forward to get some clear idea about these exams and how it works and what are the requirements it's needed. Okay, thank you. Take care and be safe. God bless you all.